What's up guys, Meredith with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we are checking out the Raxium Axial Series 7-inch LED headlights with the DRL, black housing, and clear lens, fitting all 2007 through 2018 JK Wranglers. A set of headlights can completely change the look and feel of the front end of your JK, and this set is going to be sure to do that with a modern appearance and a sharp design that's going to be sure to make your Jeep stand out if that's your goal. With being eye-catching thanks to the clean LED appearance, these will also be a huge step up compared to the factory headlights if you are struggling with visibility at night from poor performance of the halogen bulb and the standard reflector, or the front of the light has seen some wear and it's fogged up, bogging down your light performance. Like I mentioned, these are going to feature a very sharp appearance with a similar setup to the typical aftermarket LED that's super popular with JK owners. However, this design is a bit more refined with multiple projectors for the low and high beam and a thick fiber optic style DRL that's going to really make the LEDs pop. The bright white DRL will be for style, but also safety, functioning as the light that is going to make you more noticeable on the road when you're driving and your driving lights are off. Now, speaking of those driving lights, the LED paired with the projector lens is going to drastically increase the performance that I mentioned and will create a very full and wide beam pattern free of any inconsistencies like the scattered halogen, and it's also going to reach much farther down the road and have a sharp cutoff line for a clean appearance, so you're not going to have to squint or struggle at night. The build of these lights is pretty stout for a pair of headlights with a black aluminum housing, dispersing the light's heat very well to keep them running efficiently, but also the housing on the inside is going to darken the appearance with the black color, the black finish, contrasting the LEDs very nicely for more of that sinister aesthetic. Now the lens on the front is, however, going to be clear, not obstructing the light at all, and will have a polycarbonate construction that's very common for headlights considering the resilience of the lens being resistant to smaller impacts and damage thanks to its strength. The rest of the lighting will also be completely plug and play. You are going to get some adapter harnesses for the H4, which is this plug here, to H13, which is the JK connection, and a CAN bus resistor here, or a CAN bus harness, to make sure that there aren't any problems when switching from a halogen to an LED. The computer can kind of freak out, but that is going to allow the switch to be seamless. Now, with how much I just told you about these lights, you would probably assume that they would be in the high price range, but these are actually going to be one of your most affordable choices at about $200. Now, they may not include some of the fancy features of the more expensive options, but they still are going to bring a lot to the table, and they're backed with a 3-year limited warranty as well. Now, lighting choice most of the time does come down to your goal with your build and your style preference. So if you're a fan of the look and performance that these offer, these again are going to be a great addition to your build, and they're not going to be an expensive one. Now, install will require a small bit of wiring for the DRL, but it's not going to be anything difficult. You get everything in the kit in order to do it, and I'm going to give it a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter because it is that simple. Now, it's probably going to take you about an hour or so with some basic hand tools, so at this point we can head over to our shop, show you how we get these installed on our JK step by step so you can do it at home. So that's going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and jump into the install.
Tools required for this install include a clip remover tool, wire strippers and crimpers, a Phillips head screwdriver, some T-taps and male spade connectors, and a test light. What's up guys? Today we're installing a set of headlights on our Wrangler. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory headlights, and then we'll meet you right back here for the install.
So this is a relatively easy install since there's only a few screws that hold these headlights in. However, we do need to remove our stock grille, so we're going to pop our hood open so we can access the plastic retainers that hold that in. So you're gonna have 6 of these plastic retainers across the top of your grill. They're really easy to remove. We're gonna use a flathead screwdriver to pop up the center and pull the whole thing out. So the top of the grill is free, however, the bottom of the grill is held in with a few metal clips. The way we're gonna remove that, we're just gonna tug out on that and that whole thing will disconnect. After we do that, we're gonna pull this grill away and we'll disconnect our lights. So we're gonna turn these till they unlock. Let those hang there. Do the same thing for the other side. Just turn these till they unlock and we'll pull this grill away. So the next step, we're gonna remove the 4 small screws that hold this chrome ring in here, which is holding our light in. We're gonna use a T15 Torx to remove those. One thing you want to make sure you do is keep a hand on it while you're removing these screws because it will just fall out on you. So to unplug these, we're going to press back on this red locking tab. Once that's all the way up, we can press down on our release and unplug our light.
Now the first thing we need to do is get our wiring situated. We have our harness that's going to be running to our daytime running lights. We already have a female spade connector on one end. We're going to be adding a male spade connector to the other end. Now there's a few different ways you can wire up your daytime running lights. We have the female spade connector that's going to be connecting to the male spade connector on the back of our headlight. Now you can use a quick connector. This has a pass-through hole that's going to go over the wire for the daytime running light, and then a hole that's blocked off. This is where you would put your wire in. So you'd get it set up like that, and then you'd fold this over and use pliers to crimp that down. Or you could use a T-tap. This has a metal fork that's going to go around the wire. You'll close it up with a pair of pliers to cut into the wire, and then you'll use a male spade connector to go inside there. Now on our Jeep, we already have a female spade connector attached to our daytime running light. So we're just going to be using a male spade connector to attach to that. So we'll get a pair of wire strippers, strip back some lead on our wire. We'll twist up that lead. And then slide our male spade connector on top. And then use a pair of wire crimpers to crimp that down. And then you'll do that same thing for your other wire, and we can get these onto the Jeep. So now I've got our daytime running light / blinker connector. We're going to be using a test light to figure out which one of our 3 wires controls our daytime running lights. So I'm going to grab one end of the test light and just put that onto a bare metal bolt. I've got the daytime running lights switched on inside the Jeep, so now we can just probe into this connector. Now the center pin is lighting up, and the 2 others are not. So the center pin is going to be this white wire with the tan stripe. Now we've got that split off into this red wire with a female spade connector. So the female spade connector is what we're going to be connecting our male spade connector to. So we'll go ahead and shut those lights off, and then we can get this hooked up. So now we can work on getting our wiring set up. Now we have our adapter harness here with the one end that's going to plug into our body harness, and then the end that's going to plug into our CAN bus. So we'll slide this into place. We'll push it in until it clicks, and then push that red locking tab down. And then we'll grab our CAN bus here. You're going to take the end with the 3 prongs and slide it into the opposite side of that adapter harness. And then we'll just leave that hanging for now. Now I'm going to run this red wire up behind our little headlight bucket. I'm going to plug in the male spade connector into the female that we already have on ours. And then next we can grab our headlight. We're going to plug our male spade connector on the back of the headlight into this female end, and we're gonna plug the connector into the opposite end of this CAN bus. So now we'll take our headlight. We have this 3-prong connector that we're gonna connect to our CAN bus. And then this male spade connector is gonna go to the female spade connector on our wire. Slide that in, and then we can slide that protective cover over it. And then we can tuck our box and all of our wires. Get our headlight into place, and then reinstall our bracket. We'll take a Phillips head screwdriver to run our screws in. And then you can repeat that same process on the other side. So now with both of our headlights installed, we can reinstall our grille. So we're gonna grab the connector for our running lights and turn signals, press that into place, and lock that red tab in. And then do the same thing on the other side. And then we can line up our tabs at the bottom and press this into place. Now, the last thing we need to do is reinstall the 6 push clips at the top of our grill. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Raxium Axial Series 7-inch LED headlights with DRL, black housing, and clear lens for your 2007 to 18 Jeep Wrangler JK. Thank you for watching, and for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.